Yeah, yeah. What up, everybody?
Yo.
Did y'all have a good weekend?
Yes. Happy Monday to you. It's in the booth. I'm your boy Messenja.
I'm Canton Jones.
Ramona Jones.
My name is Tiffany.
Hey, Tim.
First time in the booth.
Oh, we're about to go in. I need to know everything.
How many episodes we done done? First time my wife came to the booth.
You know what it is when we in the booth. Speak it to the house, speak it to the youth. And no matter what, we gon' tell the truth. See time harvest, you gon' see the fruit. Put the kid tag, gotta pull it from the roots. Get the blessing, get the bag, gotta get the loot. Find another way to preach, we don't need a suit. General in the game, looking for recruits. Let's go now. Let's go now.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another exciting episode of In the Booth with Canton Jones and Messenja. Thank you guys for joining us today. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the show on Facebook, YouTube, and all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts.
Yeah. Also, if you would like to advertise or sponsor the show, you can go to email us at intheboothpod, P-O-D, intheboothpod@gmail.com, and we will grant your request. And if you want to make a donation, you can also hit that email up too.
Donations.
Donations.
Don't be hitting on me.
Donations. Yeah. Please hit up the email. And make sure we'll get back with you.
Yeah.
All right, man. We got something very interesting we need to talk about.
I got my
today.
wife of 16 celebrated years.
What is 16 celebrated years?
16 celebrated
Is it a couple years that you didn't celebrate?
No, 16 celebrated. I'm celebrating all 16 of them.
Well, amen.
Like 16 celebrated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be different if we was 20 years in. I'm only celebrating 16.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I'm like, we married 20 years. Celebrating 16.
That's horrible.
That's funny. Yeah, cause for all them, I don't celebrate them. Them folks, right between 2012 and 2006. Nah, we
We're
don't
not
celebrate them.
celebrating them. We don't remember those.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Listen, so Miss Tiff has an insight. She's an educator. You teach what grade?
I teach high school period.
Pull up to the mic.
9th through 12th grade.
High school, 9th through 12. What subject?
I teach programming right now.
What's that?
Programming,
Like computer programming? Coding?
like coding.
You know how to code?
I do.
You know how to do websites?
I do.
What we doing then? what we doing then? Okay, that's what's up. So you teach kids how to program and code, and you do apps and stuff. You teach the kids how to do apps. When did they start changing the education to include apps and coding and stuff in school?
Programming has been there. Like when I was in high school, I took a computer science class, but it was just one offered, and it was an AP class.
Okay.
So since
Slide the
that
seat up.
time, with the improvement of technology and the need for the workforce coming up to be equipped to work in the industry,
Right.
technology has been woven into. Now I teach 3 or 4 programming classes.
Wow.
So is it more of the programming and like y'all getting ready to start having a metaverse class in a little bit,
Right.
Something along the lines of
It's
something.
coming. They have artificial intelligence classes, cybersecurity classes. So yeah, I can see metaverse.
Cyber security classes.
yeah.
Are those like electives or are those mandatory classes?
They're electives, but the way Georgia is set up now, you have to complete a pathway to graduate. So it can be a pathway in something career tech. It can be a fine arts pathway. It can be healthcare science pathway. It can be a culinary arts pathway.
So
but
you can't
have to
just
complete
be
a
like
pathway.
gym, like for us.
No,
You
gym, that's a required class. Like you need that to graduate.
What's your pathway? Gym. That's it, bro.
There is no gym pathway. That's built in with your core classes.
Halfway.
Wow.
Lunch.
So everything has changed. So like, do you see education kind of going to, well, I feel like the church we need to modernize some of the things that we do.
Yeah.
Education is doing it, but it seems like in the kingdom we'll stick to something.
Status quo.
Oh, look, man.
That's the way we
all that to get me.
Right. That's how we did it.
Work for you.
Yeah.
Work for you, work for me.
You ain't have no temptations back then, Grandma.
Or the internet. So yeah.
Right. Your TikTok wasn't jumping.
Right.
Y'all ain't had Magic City in Blue Flames and Onyx. Y'all ain't had a
They had the juke joint. They had the juke joint.
The juke joint with not Sophia. What's girl that was down the juke joint color purple? Shoot. Yeah, y'all had Sugar.
So
now they did have a dog track though. My grandma had a dog track. She can go.
A dog track.
Yeah.
To gamble.
Yes. In Miami.
Wow.
Dog racing. Oh my God.
I know about dog racing, but I didn't know that it was a big thing.
Yeah.
In the black community.
Yeah. 305.
I know dog fighting is a big thing in the black community.
It is now.
But they used to go to the track though to bet on the dogs. Yeah.
Wow.
That were running. Mm-hmm.
You ever bet on a dog?
No, I didn't. They wouldn't let me go.
They wouldn't let you?
Nah, I had to stay at the house.
Do you know how to run a dog
No.
betting? Oh, I'm finna say, man.
Yeah, she was at home running through doors and.
She what?
At home running through doors.
Why you have to bring that up? I'm pretty sure she's like, why you have to bring that up? Why?
Let me hold your bell.
There you go.
Now you might want to tell the story, but you got to tell the story. You can't just throw that out there.
She ran through the door.
You told that story?
No, he didn't. He did not. He didn't.
He told the story. He told the story that
weeks ago.
He said that the door was so clean that you didn't see it. And you walked clean through the glass. Like
I ran. I barreled. I was trying to get back in the house. I wasn't supposed to be outside.
Oh!
It wasn't my fault. That was the other little girl.
Oh, it was her fault.
Yeah, it was her fault. Because it was some flowers or something. She said, let's go. I was like, okay, cool. But she came back in and closed the door.
You were a little girl?
I was little. Like
you was strong enough to barrel through a glass?
Yo, my brain is strong. Like my head. It went first.
No, he was talking like he was an adult.
Oh no, that's it.
It wasn't a window, like it was a door, like a sliding glass door, straight through.
Wow.
No silhouette, just.
I tell you, boy, educators that walk through glass doors are unique. Unique.
Is that the
Few
word?
and far between. All right, so man, you're gonna have a great we're gonna have a great discussion because of this "Don't Say Gay" law. Florida governor signs bill banning conversations of gender or sexual orientation in kindergarten through grade 3 in a manner that is not age appropriate. It is titled "Parental Right in Education," but dubbed by critics as the "Don't Say Gay" law. All right. So pretty much, let's just set this up. So when we were growing up, the teachers would send home the permission slip for sexual education classes. My mom would never sign it, and she says when y'all start talking about that, put my kid in another class. I don't want them to be. I don't want you to present this subject to my kids.
Yeah.
And so as the world became more and more perverted. See, it's not the kids that's perverted, it's the teachers, because the teachers are programming the kids. And so if the teacher is gay, or if the teacher is a pervert, then they would push the orientation or culture. You don't have, I don't know if they had sex ed books because we never were allowed to go to those classes.
Yeah, we didn't do sex ed.
But
it was just a video, right? That's
I
what I
don't know.
remember.
We didn't have sex ed.
We did in Florida. And my mom never allowed us to go, never allowed us to be a part. So now, I guess because of the teacher having the ability to shape the mind of the students or minds of the students that they are teaching, if you are if you have a certain sexual identity, then you can promote that sexual identity in the culture of your classroom.
Yeah.
And so this don't say gay law or appropriately coined parental rights in education law tells the teacher that you cannot talk about sexual orientation before grade 3. Is that including grade 3? Like you can start in grade 3?
No,
grade 4.
Third.
So you can start in grade 4.
So kindergarten through the 3rd grade, you cannot talk about sexual, gender, identity, binary, none of that.
Why or what would make a teacher? Because in my day in school, sex never came up with my teacher.
No, because
the teacher was so weird.
I'm gonna tell you why. This is my thing. Because what happened is that the LGBTQ teachers are resigning across the state of Florida. They upset. They're in uproar. Why would you do this? You know, these kids need us. These kids that are struggling with this. You know, I've had, you know, situations where I had to talk to a kid about it and yada 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 yada, and they're upset because they feel like you're gonna leave the kids hanging, and you know. But my thing is, when we were coming up, and my parents and my grandparents, this was never an issue. And I'm going to explain why it wasn't. Mm-hmm. Nobody at 5, 6, 7, I went to 5 schools in elementary. I went to Allen's Academy, went to Greenfield Elementary, San Jose Elementary, Crown Point, which was my mama's school, elementary, and then I went to Pine Forest. Nobody talked about gay, nobody talked about binary, nobody talked about identity. Everybody was a boy, and everybody was a girl. Now, what happened in the last decade and a half to all of a sudden make these kids have issues with identity? Maybe you pushed an agenda on them that confused them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this was never a problem.
We're going to continue to talk about this, but I just need to know why you went to 5 elementary schools. We'll talk about that later. I'm like, man, what the world wrong with you? You went to 5 elementary schools.
It ain't but 5 years in elementary.
Right.
6.
Right. A different school every year.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. It looked like my mama was at one of them. You got kicked out the school that your mama was at.
He kicked out.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So now that the agenda, I just don't understand why it would need to be why sex, period, would need to be a conversation between a child,
right?
It's
and
not a
an
part
adult.
of the curriculum.
If you have,
we're not even talking about high school. We're talking about elementary school.
And if the subject comes
curriculum.
up, then you need to call the child's mom or call a professional that's outside that classroom.
That's what the law is doing now.
Yeah.
This law is a law in favor of the kingdom, saying your job is to educate, not indoctrinate.
Right.
You cannot indoctrinate my child with anything while my child is supposed to be being reading, writing, arithmetic.
Exactly.
That's what you talk about. That's all you do. That's what you get paid to do. We're not giving you our tax dollars to counsel my child. You're here to educate, and what's been happening is that some of the teachers they push their ideas and views and say what's okay. And I remember I heard about a school in California had 2 men holding hands on the wall on the poster, kind of walking away, so you saw the back of them holding hands with the saying it's okay on the poster in a public school.
Wow.
So when you push the agenda on these kids and they're coming from, home and they see mommy and daddy, they're like, you're confusing the child. So now the child has to try to process this, and now here you come with an indoctrination. That's how you change the conversation. That's why it was an agenda to change the conversation to say that, okay, this is not an alternative lifestyle. This is lifestyle, or this is just, this is normal.
And we can't even keep prayer in school, but this is
but you train kids. They're going after the next generation.
Yeah. It's amazing how strong darkness goes after the next generation, but the church won't.
They won't. Yeah.
And so I am learning as a pastor that darkness is the absence of life. Yeah. Sometimes we complain about what the world is doing more than we are doing something about what the world is doing. And so, I know that we made a declaration when the transgender swimmer was swimming against the other girls, and he won the gold, and it was unfair to the other girls that a man,
the NCAA college women's swimming,
would change himself to a woman. And then he didn't
change himself. He changed his name.
He just changed his name.
Yeah.
But he had all of his male parts and swimming against women, and then get up there and win the gold.
Yeah.
And so we made a declaration, and a law was changed. Yeah. You know. And so
in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The governor signed
I think
the law.
it's time for us to do more as the kingdom. Yeah. You know, because we can sit and complain. That's not going to change anything. But I believe that, you know, with these new laws in place, somebody in the kingdom is working. Parents will be able to sue school districts for violations. Now, I know good and well if you know that people are going to start suing. Yeah, I know,
and that's what the LGBTQ teachers are saying. Like, you're putting me in a position, you know, where I can't. Well, if you were there to teach anyway, this shouldn't bother you.
Right.
If you're there to teach, this shouldn't bother you at all.
Right.
But even if you're gay.
Right. Because if you have an agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're saying you're attacking my agenda.
Yeah, and what,
to
and
move
what
this
is your,
in this class. Yeah. So if it was about education, this doesn't bother you in the least. Yeah. If it does, you came for something else.
And then, you know, you gotta look at sin. Doesn't, like, the appetite keeps growing. And so if you're gay, why do you feel the need to talk to my child about it? You know, is my child your next prey? Is my child, are you looking at my child a certain way? You know what I'm saying? What's the issue? You know what I'm saying? Why can't you just educate my child? You see what I'm saying?
I think they're trying to make they're trying to make the conversation the new norm. Like, this is a normal thing. And like I said, you go after young people, you go after kids, you're training them, you're training their thoughts, you're training their ideas, and what it does, it ends up confusing them early on. A survey was last year about the LGBTQ Youth Suicide Crisis Intervention Organization found that 42% of 35,000 LGBTQ, man, too many letters, youths considered suicide within just last year. So 42% of the 35,000 in this, this country considered suicide. Now, they want to say it came from, you know, everybody else not agreeing or feeling comfortable, but I'm thinking it's more that you introduced them to this, and it kind of confused them, and they don't know where to go when their mind is going. Because when we were in school, this agenda didn't exist, and that 42% that wanted to commit suicide didn't exist. Right. So what's the difference in that suicide rate was not there when we was in school to now this 42% suicide rate is now there? What's the difference between then is now, when back then everybody had the same mindset?
Right.
As the people that you're talking about having the mindset. Now, so it wasn't the mindset to begin with. It's you push something on them that begin to make their mind in a double-minded state, which is instability, because a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So you're creating this monster, and the results is showing the proof in what you've done, because the mindset has already been here. Right. And that rate did not exist.
Yeah, sometimes, too, they take a small sample size, you know,
they'll say 32%, and
then they multiply.
A school of 10 people.
They might go to the places where kids are dealing with it, and then test those kids, and then say probably other kids are dealing with it in other cities and other states, and then they balloon the numbers.
And it's not across the board.
Yeah, they didn't ask 35,000. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Well, this is the people that this is a crisis intervention organization. So this is numbers that reported to them.
Yeah, but sometimes people. I hate to say during COVID, they was putting tags on people that said COVID that were not COVID, you know, deaths. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so people lie. I don't believe no numbers. Yeah. They lie. Them numbers skewed. Are not real. You skew numbers to push agenda. You skew numbers to get money or funding or sympathy so that people can let their guard down or that people can go with you. You skew numbers. You saying 35,000 LGBTQ youth considered suicide within
42% of the 35,000.
42%. So the whole thing is that means you talked to over 17,000, 16,000 youth that was about to kill each other. I mean, kill themselves. You see what I'm saying? And so now, what is the purpose? Why did they say that they were getting ready to kill themselves? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because they was dealing with it, because they broke up with somebody, because there's trouble at the house, because they taking drugs. What makes them fall under it being a LGBTQ problem?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Or just a youth problem with parents. You see what I'm saying? So people know how to skew numbers. People know how to lie, and so it's up to us as the kingdom to bring one truth back, but the other thing is bring light. Once we start, I believe that kingdom people got involved in this, and they had to make a change. And the church, really, it was the believers in Florida that pushed back on it. And I believe that wherever light is, we got to push it up past third grade now. Wherever light is, whenever we make a decree, whenever we start saying something, whenever we pray about something, wherever light is, darkness leaves immediately. And so what I'm learning is everybody wants love. Everybody wants to be accepted. Nobody wants to be pushed out. So the Bible says perfect love casts out fear. And so a lot of people are holding on to these different agendas. One, they don't. Sin doesn't have an appetite. They're gonna add another letter on there. It's gonna be LG. First it was LGB, then it was the LGBT, then it's the LGBTQ. Then now it's I don't sleep with nobody. So now I only sleep with and everything has to do with what you do with your sexual organ. You see what I'm saying? And you just sleep with yourself. But the whole, shut up, man. But it's all about being accepted or being different, and you got to understand, sin don't agree with it. I mean, sin starts fighting itself eventually. These are facts. They're gonna start fighting each other. They're not as unified. They just look unified to us. But they're not as unified. When I talk to other gang members, I realize that gang members ain't just as unified like that. They're killing each other. There's problems with each other, and so I just want to make sure that the people who are here, who are watching us, who are listening to us, understand that you still have power. Don't get hopeless just because people are making moves and have agendas. Use your power. What is your power? Your words, your prayer, your declaration. Start declaring certain things, and it will be established. So most of the time, stuff slips through because we don't say nothing, and we're not paying attention. So you're an educator in high school. And I understand that kids are a lot more free with their sexuality. They're willing to say anything. They're willing to do anything. How do you, as a kingdom person, govern and talk and show love, but still educate? Because you can't talk about the kingdom stuff at the high school.
Right.
Yeah, back in the day, my mama would be like, now you're going to hell. Like, come on, you can't
I can't do that.
Yeah, I know, but my mom had a slick way of doing kingdom without getting in trouble. How do you deal with certain issues like this in school?
A lot of what works for me is the relationship that I have with my kids. Yep. So my students know when they come in, everybody has the same playing ground. When you come in, you one of my babies. Can't nobody mess with you. Can't nobody do nothing to you. Can't nobody say nothing about you because then I have something to say.
Right.
So I have to go with that level playing ground so that they all know that regardless of what has happened, fights, bully, jumping on folks, cussing out teachers, that doesn't happen in here.
Right. You've established your kingdom.
I've established my kingdom.
Yeah.
So my room is a safe haven. I'm not saying I don't have, gang members. I don't have outbursts. I don't have, kids that are lesbian or gay, whatever. But they all know in my room it's a safe haven.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I condone what they do. It doesn't mean I condone what they believe in.
Right.
But they all have a space to be who they are in my room.
Can you, do you have the freedom to create culture? Because a person with an agenda can create a culture without saying the culture. So basically, if you have a teacher that have a certain lifestyle, and he come in and read every day, and he have a conversation. He understand the code of the streets. He understand gang life, and he uses it in his analogies. He teaches math that way. Listen, if you got a quarter pound of wheat, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
2 grams minus 36 ounces.
That is possible.
You know what I'm saying? There are people that know how to create culture and educate with their culture still. Even people who are from different places, from the islands, talk with an accent, and then they might introduce certain things from their island, from their tribe, from wherever they're from, and along with the kid getting math, they'll get a little of the culture with it. You see what I'm saying? And so, are you able to put a little kingdom culture? Because I know you can't preach Jesus. I know you can't lay hands. I know you can't cast out devils. But are you able to? How do you use? Or I don't even know if you incriminate yourself if they watching you. But how do you? Because they know you love Jesus. That's not a secret.
Yeah.
But how do you have a standard, even with other teachers, without that friction?
I am just the example. Like I model what I would like to see them do. And if they do something outside of that, then we address it. I don't always address it in a you shouldn't do that way because I have a really, really slick mouth.
Yeah, I know that about you.
But I still show them what I want them to do. I can't automatically assume because they come from so many different places.
Yeah.
Now, you had a child that deals in this area that was their mom or somebody came to you about you ain't got to say that
years
name.
Ago.
Don't say their name.
I had a transgender child.
Yeah.
A student that was born a certain way. They went and had the procedure.
And they
as a
asked you
kid
came back.
to call them their new name.
And then they had specific rules of how they needed to be addressed and which restrooms they needed to use. And
do they use the like if you're born a boy and you have the procedure? Do you go to the
are
girls?
allowed to use the restroom for whatever the procedure set you to be.
Okay.
So what did you do? Like, did you adhere to these rules? Did you say, okay, I'll start calling you this now, and the PG version?
I did not call them what they told me to call them. But I was able to still address this child and respect this child without agreeing with what they said they were.
Because that was our conversation is the freedom that you want to have to live in this reality, you have to give us as believers the same freedom.
Right.
Like for me, for you to, we believe that God creates everything with a purpose. So if he created you to be a man, he created you to be a man for a purpose. So therefore, you were not in agreement with God.
Right.
And we're in agreement with God.
Yeah.
If you tell me to come in agreement with you, then I got to come out of agreement with God to come in agreement with you, because no two can walk together lest they be agreed. So I'm agreeing with God. I can't relinquish my agreement with God to agree with you. So there has to be a space and a culture where you have to understand I got to walk with God. You understand? I'm in an agreement with Him. Therefore, out of love, I'm not going to disrespect you, but at the same time, I'm going to continue.
I can't disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. You have to understand that.
So what do you do? Like, do you if George was changed to Jenny, and Jenny wants you to call her Jenny, but it's George to you. Do you call him George or Jenny?
Come here, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Hey, sweet. Come here.
You just don't call him nothing.
Yeah. I'm not calling you Jenny.
You're not calling him George.
I got high school that trans. I don't call them by that.
What you call? You don't call him by nothing.
No.
It's just hey, what up?
What up?
What's happening?
Yeah. Hey, what going on? You good?
You straight? You good?
Straight? You good? Yeah.
Do you still shake his hand like a dude?
Yeah. Everything gonna be a dude like
from you.
For me.
So you just you pound on the back. I'm trying to understand, bro. Yeah, a bit.
Everything hard.
But one thing I had to be sure about, though, is that I could not treat this child different because of what I knew.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want them to feel like they were handicapped or that they stood out. Like, I still had to treat this child the same way, give them the same love, cover them with the same grace that all of the other students had.
Yeah.
And even though this child knew, because I did not buy into any of it, that I didn't agree with it, they were still able to buy into what I was trying to give them, which was the curriculum and the knowledge.
And education.
And I learned over time. The Lord was dealing with me about, why do you treat or why do you have this viewpoint on gay people when you don't have that same viewpoint on pimps, or hustlers, or
adulterers,
or whoever, you know what I'm saying, and guys
Pedophiles.
that there is a coolness to certain sins, even to certain Christian people, you know, that even though you don't participate in pimping, there's just something. We always had this, like, that joker's a pimp, or we use it as a term of endearment. Like, oh yeah,
but
that boy,
you do something, that boy pimping,
pimping. So when the actual use of the word pimping is you're selling, you're exploiting women for money, and so we have to learn to not judge and love, keep our place and our standards, and that's the fine line where people feel like, man, just because I don't agree with you don't mean I don't love you.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
There's a lot of things.
Disagreement don't equal hate.
Right.
That's what they need to understand.
And sometimes when they made the decision to be LGBTQ, it comes out of a place of hurt, like they've been hurt. Dad hasn't been there, and it's just a lot of hurt. So when they grab onto something that actually love them, or give them some type of love, or give them some type of platform, or give them some type of attention,
that's what it is.
They hold on to it, and then anybody that comes to try to beat that out of them or disagree, they hold on to that platform. The only way that they're gonna hear is through love. You know, that I love you, and then when I just tell the truth based off of what God told me to tell. They'll hear the love in it, and they'll consider what you're saying. But that's anybody, and I think there are people that pick sins that they So, and I had to learn that, especially as a pastor, you got to learn only to do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
And say, do what I tell you to do with this, do what I tell you to do with that, judge this, judge that, So with that, a lot of people have to understand that if we take a stance to stand for God, we don't hate you, we're not mad at you, not even.
That's the narrative that the agenda created.
Yeah.
Now we have to create an agenda to change that narrative.
Yeah.
Because right now, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
They strategically use simple words to fight against the church. One of those words was diversity.
Yeah. Another one is bullying.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a simple word. We're celebrating diversity.
Yeah. So that means gay.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't agree with that, then you don't celebrate diversity.
You're bullying me.
Yeah, so it's
bully is
it's
a gay
words,
word.
bro.
Yeah.
It's words.
And then,
it's agendas. It's
bully
play
is
on
not
words.
a gay word. Let me take that back.
Yeah.
Bully is not a gay word. Diversity is not a gay word.
Yeah.
Because first, diversity was used to get black people involved in stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be diverse.
Right. We can't change
Add
that
some
at all.
black people, some Spanish people. In
Yeah,
there.
you can't change that.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but now we're talking about. Even taking the rainbow, the rainbow is a sign of covenant from God, and it will always be that for me. Now, whatever it is for you, you're not gonna change what it is for me just because you got it for you. And then that don't make us at war, though.
Yeah.
All right. You gonna look at my outfit? You gonna say I shouldn't have wore these shoes? And I'm gonna say, all right, well I did. So therefore, ain't nothing we can do about it now.
Right. I don't hate you because of that.
I don't hate you because you don't like my shoes. You see what I'm saying? And so the seed of hate. That's why everything godly is a seed of love. All right. And if you are, if you have a lifestyle that's different. Or if you have a lifestyle that you chose because you feel like it's not different, it might be different to us, but mine is different to you. It still don't mean that we hate each other,
right?
And so we're human beings and we love each other, and so we just try to line our lives up completely with the Word of God and what God intended. You might feel like you're doing that, but you got to go to the Word and line your life up with the Word of God. And my thing is, whatever I feel, I change. This is the difference between holiness and not holiness. When I find out God don't like something, I change what I like, my emotions about it, my feelings about it, to line up what God feels about it. Yep. All right. When I find out, oh, you don't like that? Oh man, wow, I've been doing that for a long time. Let me line up with what, and that's called holiness. Sometimes when people who want to keep what they want to do, when they find out God don't like it, they trying to get God to change, and that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get God to change His mind on certain things. So LGBTQ has everything to do with your perspective of sex. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He's a creator. He made us. We are creators. And two men can't create. Two women can't create. That's just no argument against that. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And so if everybody subscribes to the same thing, then the world will be extinct and we'll all die off. And that's not the purpose of us being created. Yeah. And so if you choose not to create, then that's up to you. But you were built to create, and that's the whole purpose of it. So, all right, man. We're moving on. We're moving on. Yeah. All right. This or that. Restaurant edition.
The restaurants.
Applebees or Chili's? I think they're the same.
They're not the same.
No, they're not the same.
Applebees for me.
Applebees and Chili's. I know we like my wife got like chili because everything ends with a vowel. Like Taco Bell.
That doesn't make any sense.
Like everything, tostada, enchilada, taco, everything begins with quesadilla. Yeah. So, if it ends in a vowel, she likes it.
Okay.
Pizza, and so me, I'm a consonant guy. Chicken, chips, I'm a consonant. Beans. Yeah, I'm a consonant guy. Yeah, so I'll take.
It's really only one chili dish I really like, but I'll take Applebee's. The honey barbecue.
Chicken tenders?
Man.
Chicken tenders with
Okay.
the corn.
Oh, the
and-
honey chipotle.
and
Oh yeah, my mom
Oh
liked
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I like their
With the
Southwest
Texas
rolls.
the Texas fries.
Yeah.
Texas cheese.
All right, IHOP or Waffle House?
IHOP.
IHOP.
It depends. What
It depends
time.
on what's going
There's
on.
no
They're
depend.
going
I'm looking for
Waffle
consistency.
House is always 20 degrees,
That was-
and
they
they
quick
have
though.
this-
They quick.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
And it's
there's
a
no
small-
variety.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
You know,
it's get it and
I
go.
like that smother covered in
I
It's
don't
get
like
it and
it.
go. I go with IHOP though.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna go with IHOP,
Waffle
but
House
just,
is close second.
yeah.
Fridays are Ruby Tuesday.
Give me Ruby Tuesdays.
Since our Ruby Tuesdays has been shut down, no, I like Ruby Tuesdays. I like the salad.
Yeah, I like the salad.
Fridays don't do a good job of.
You got to know what to order
Anything.
at Friday.
Yeah,
They don't.
Of
they
anything.
menu look good, but it just
It don't come out
Like
the same
Fridays
way.
is Applebee's.
No,
Come on, man.
Kind of.
It's under.
no,
They
it's
like
not
the
Applebees. No, I'm
under.
talking about it's as far as taste and just the quality of what you eating. It's
Yeah,
not-
yeah. It doesn't
It
come
look
out
good.
but it don't come out
Yeah,
like
in
that.
theory, they Applebees,
Yeah.
but no, they
But
not.
you
I
gotta
don't
know
want to go to a
what to order.
restaurant in theory.
Yeah,
I'm Ruby Tuesdays.
Ruby
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Piccadilly or Cracker Barrel. Now these probably shouldn't be compared to me,
Why?
because with Cracker Barrel I only do breakfast.
Yeah, I don't eat there.
I've never had a Cracker Barrel meal,
like
I haven't
dinner or
either.
like
I
whatever.
just
besides
want-
Me
breakfast.
neither.
And the breakfast is amazing.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
But I've never had like a Cracker Barrel chicken basket or something like that.
I mean, but they sell food. I mean, they sell food.
Yeah, but I
Well,
don't
we
go to
can't compare,
Piccadilly.
so
You
we
can't
don't
get
know.
Piccadilly don't
you can't
serve
get no
breakfast.
breakfast from
Right.
Piccadilly.
But I'm saying Cracker Barrel sell food.
I can't compare them, bro. Like,
Yeah, I ain't never had Cracker Barrel food.
yeah, they okay. If I
Yes,
had
I
to
have.
pick one,
Maybe
but
once.
you know, I'm a breakfast guy, so I'm gonna have to
I
go
only
with
had the
breakfast.
Mama's
Barrel.
pancakes. I don't even look at the menu.
Yeah,
Mama's
Same
pancake
thing.
we
breakfast.
order everything just from memory at
Yeah.
Cracker
Y'all
Barrel.
breakfast folk.
We
Give me-
are.
Give me Piccadilly, man.
I like
Give me some
Piccadilly.
sides.
I love
Give me-
Piccadilly.
yeah,
Nah, I
give
love
me-
Piccadilly,
Man, Dilly,
but-
give me a dilly plate, bro. Dilly plate me, man.
What's a dilly plate?
But
Piccadilly plate. The dilly plate, one meat and two
Oh, we
sides.
just okay. We just order. I didn't know it was called something.
It's a dilly plate. yeah.
Okay, all right.
yeah.
That's South Carolina.
She
Dilly plate. Like, what's a dilly plate?
Yeah,
We just
broke
ordered.
rhythm years
Yeah.
ago. Get what you want, bro.
Yeah, just whatever.
We got macaroni, cheese, beans, and rice.
And that's it. No
Veggie
meat.
plate. That's a veggie
No
plate.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Styles go up there order no meat, just juice and
a pie.
and a pie and
that's
macaroni and cheese. That's it. But
Like, what
gotta
is
help,
that?
help your rhythm. Outback Longhorn. Now these are the same.
I like Longhorn.
Keep me out back.
Where's the where I get the fish?
That's Outback.
That's right. Okay,
Give me
Outback.
Outback.
Cause that
I
meal
like
is
Longhorn.
Come on with
amazing.
Outback. Outback got them fried mushrooms.
Fried mushrooms,
too.
yeah. Give me
I've
out
never
back.
tried those.
But the outlaw steak at Longhorn. Boy.
Man, y'all getting me hungry.
right.
I know, right?
Maggiano's or Carrabba's?
Ooh, Carrabba's.
One of these places didn't set good with my stomach.
No, that
Which
wasn't.
one?
I knew you were gonna say that. No, that wasn't it. That was another place.
Neither one of these?
No,
Okay.
that was
One of these
something
places
else.
didn't look.
No,
Well,
no,
your
no.
face just changed.
That was
One of
another
these
one.
places didn't sit good with my stomach.
Yeah, one of these. Yeah.
No, it wasn't neither one of those. You sure? Yeah. I'm not gonna say which one.
Why you laughing?
They might be a sponsor one day.
Maggiano. I think
I like
Maggiano.
Maggiano.
Yeah, somebody made me real sick.
That's Scampi Damien, bro.
Say what?
Yeah, I
Scampi
like
Damien.
Carrabba's.
Scampi Damien?
Scampi Damien from the Carrabba's. It's not even on the menu no more. You just gotta order it.
Scampi Damien.
Yeah,
It's
just
like shrimp scampi pasta.
yeah, it's
Nice.
pasta.
Why they call
Oh,
it
that
Damien?
sounds delicious right
I don't
now.
know. That's just. It ain't on the menu. Just go and just say, "Give me
Anymore.
Scampi
Sound like the
Damien."
name of a male prostitute, bro.
So, Yard House
All right, let's
or
go.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Scampi Damien. Scampi Damien.
Can you please move
Okay,
on?
okay.
Please.
I'm sorry. Yard House.
You
Stop.
just get it. It
Stop.
just went there.
Yard
No.
Y'all show your love.
for Scampi Damien.
Y'all are dumb.
Wait, what?
No. There we go. Here it is.
When the boots up. Y'all show your love. All right, I'm sorry. Okay. Forgive me.
Moving right along.
Yard House or Buffalo Wild Wings. I've never
Give me Yard House.
eaten at
I don't
Yard
even know what
House.
Yard
Yard
House
House.
is.
Yard House.
Yeah, I
love
don't know.
Yard
Yard House good.
What is it? Wings?
Kind of like a
Wingstop?
They have a little bit of everything.
everything. Yeah, it's kind of like like Buffalo Wild Wings.
I like Buffalo Wild Wings, but I've never heard of that.
I don't like
It's
Buffalo.
at Atlantic Station. We should.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, go try Yard House.
Oh, it's
Pretty
an
good.
expensive like $10 wings.
One wing.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
a little more high
But
end.
it's
than
not it's good.
Olive Garden, Old Charlie's.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Man,
I like
Old Charlie's
Italian,
got some-
so-
Man, Earl Charlie's.
Old Charlie's got some soup on Tuesday and
I don't like
Thursday.
they-
The harvest
Oh, I used to
chicken or
love that
something.
soup.
Give me Italian, man.
Yeah, give me Italian. I want a good
Give me
lasagna.
olive.
And a
I
good
want they
salad
bread
and them
they,
breadsticks.
Yeah, they breadsticks.
What's the
and
little beans that you ordered and you was eating by yourself? What's the thing called?
Capers.
Capers.
Those are
From
so
where?
good.
She ordered a whole thing of capers, just some old
where?
rotten beans.
They're
that she
not
saw.
rotten beans.
Rotten
They're
beans.
not
Them
rotten
junk was
beans.
nasty,
This is
bro.
what the mafia used to eat. They put that on
The
their
capers that they
from
put up.
Olive Garden.
Yeah,
My sister used to work there, but she used to bring food home. I was like, oh God, yes.
That's why you don't like it.
No, I like Olive
like
Garden.
it? Oh, okay,
I
okay.
eat Olive Garden.
You like
But
them?
them dishes
You
be.
eat them beans, them nasty beans?
I don't eat the beans.
Capers.
They're
He do.
peas.
He don't know he do. If it's in the food that he
Yeah,
eats.
it's in the
eat it.
food. You don't
Yeah.
just eat
You
them.
don't-
They're in the food.
But she was just eating
It's in
capers
the- it's
by
not in the
herself, just
pasta.
beans.
I was not.
Some of them.
It's in the pasta.
Some of them.
It's in
Oh.
everything.
It must
Oh,
be
Charlie's
like
just
crushed
missed the mark
beans.
sometimes.
It must be like crushed beans and just sprinkle it over, but I ain't see the beans. They're like
Crushed
just,
beans? You don't crush beans?
I mean, just sprinkle them over because I didn't see the beans. That's what you're saying. Did you
It's
eat the beans?
peas, and yes, you probably had
it's
some.
capers.
If you went to a real Italian place, you definitely had capers.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
It's just for fancy. Like, it's like the leaf that's on the side of the plate.
it actually has
but they
taste,
put it in
though.
the food.
It has taste. It's very
Okay.
salty. Peas. You got me saying beans. They're peas.
They beans.
They're not beans.
Beans and peas are brothers.
Beans and peas are brothers.
They are, bro. Cheesecake Factory or Red Lobster.
Cheesecake Outside of the bread for Red Lobster.
Really, they don't. Really,
Pre-meal.
They
Red
totally
Lobster.
really, those don't compare.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
totally.
like
I mean, you're
different
talking
levels.
about price and class and.
And their plate is like gigantic
Yeah,
at Cheesecake Factory.
is of course awesome. You know what? I've been to Cheesecake Factories for years and never had a cheesecake
You a lie.
from Cheesecake Factory.
You a
Not from Cheesecake Factory.
Do
I've
you
had,
eat cheesecake?
Yeah, I do. I
How you ain't
have
never eat a cheese?
ordered.
That's the whole point of me going.
One, the doggone plate is always
Right.
as big as this table.
It's true.
So by the time it's time to eat dessert,
I'm still taking two home.
man,
That's
I'm
not
too
a
full.
lie.
I'm too full.
How many I take? At least two.
Yeah, but I'm
He
not.
might eat one and still take two.
I can't
I'm
eat
loading up
full.
on
Like
Cheesecake
full,
Factory.
I'm
I'm not talking. I'm talking about
I'm
to
gonna take
take.
full.
I'm going to eat it later on. I'm gonna eat one tomorrow. I'm gonna eat one the day after that. But
Yeah,
when
I
I got
had some
Cheesecake Factory. I'm loading up on
delicious
cheesecake.
but I've never had one at Cheesecake
Bruh,
Factory.
you-
So by the time I doggone eat half the plate and go to sleep, get back up and eat the rest of it, I don't want no more food.
Yeah.
So I've always been full. Man, I tried to have a salad. I was at a business dinner, business breakfast or whatever. I mean, a lunch. And the plate, I was like, man, I'm not really that hungry. Give me a salad. Man, that salad was a whole tree, bro. I was like, yeah, how big is this? Why is this plate so big, bro? I mean, it was a lot
Cheesecake
of
Factory?
food. Yeah. So their plates. I don't know if post COVID everything after COVID everything changed. So you might go to that mug and they give you a little small salad.
They just pinching food.
And most of the
piece
plates
of
be them
lettuce.
doggone beans. Most be eating.
The peas.
Y'all gonna stop hating on my capers.
But before COVID, that plate was too big. So I've never eaten Cheesecake Factory cheesecake.
Scampi Damien, your house, and a Cheesecake Factory. That's your homework, bro.
Okay, I don't
That
want to
sound like a
Scampi
movie.
Damien.
Right.
Everything you just said sound like a movie.
I go to y'all house though.
Y'all
But
house
Scampi
is dope.
Damien, where's Scampi Damien again?
Carruthers.
It's like a. It's almost like we go to
That's
visit
in
a
your head
person,
now.
bro. Like, how can I find the Scampi Damien? I'm like, oh, he's back here.
You got a problem. What's
Go
Scampi
down there,
Damien?
make a
Ain't
little-
nothing to cook it.
Yeah, he come out. Here's Scampi Damien. Here's Scampi Damien right here.
Yeah, I
Like,
want
no, I
Scampi
don't want
Damien.
him.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You're the only one who thinking that. I never thought about it. Much as I eat it, I ain't never thought about it.
Every time you eat it from now on, though,
Yeah,
you're gonna eat
it's
Scampi
tainted
Damien.
now.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
You take these boots with you next time. All right, man. Another hot show. We love y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, Tiff.
Thank you for having me.
They
Yeah.
be cheating, you know. They coming off their fresh cheating session,
No, we
bro.
just know how to play the game.
They always cheat.
Don't
We have
hate.
What's
family
the name
fun
of the
night.
game? What's
They
the name of
always
the game?
Great minds think alike.
everything.
Great minds think alike.
No, usually they
Was it
Hearing things.
She got me last night. What
we couldn't get B, but she can get extravagant B.
I just have great enunciation. That's it. You feel me?
You gotta lock in.
That's why I said y'all can be quiet.
I was quiet when I said extravagant.
Yeah, I was cheating. And some of them points, something was wrong with some of them points.
Stacey cheating hard.
Stacey was cheating, yeah.
I love you, Stacey.
We'll see y'all the next game night.